Hello, this is Tim Campsell with TBC Action Coach of Indiana with our Business Spotlight series. The purpose is to interview local business owners and promote them through our social channels and email database, as well as provide them with coaching. This is a free service we offer because if every business is strong, then the economy is strong. Today, I have the pleasure of talking with Tim. Welcome, Tim. It's great to have you on the program today.
Yeah, thanks, Tim. Thanks for having me on.
Absolutely. Well, let's start with tell us a little bit about yourself and your background.
Okay. Well, I'm a automation engineer. I played with robots in college and then got into the business world where I was a manufacturing engineer. I've been a design engineer of industrial equipment, then got into the glamorous world of capital equipment sales, specifically in the automated storage and retrieval world. And that's really, what I've been doing for about 15, 16 years.
Fantastic.
So, yeah.
So you've since gone out on your own. Tell us a little bit about your business.
Yeah, so one of the challenges that I found being in capital equipment sales was that there was a real lack of awareness on buyers' behalf of who the different vendors are that exist in the world. So I created this tool called Parity RFP, which has now evolved a little bit, but the basic idea or premise of this tool is that as a buyer, you could go in there, answer some questions, and then the system matches you to vendors that want to provide that type of product in your area. So there's a lack of communication between the two parties, but the communication that does exist is very specific and purposeful. So when you create that request, the clients, or excuse me, the vendors will see, oh, here's somebody that's looking for this widget in this area. And then the vendors can go ahead and respond to that. And they do it in a predetermined format. So you don't have to go through numerous quotes and proposals. You just get this list and it says this vendor provides this service at this price, and here's the breakout. And you can compare them side by side with other vendors.
Okay, wonderful. So you mentioned, or I mentioned earlier that you've recently gone out into business for yourself. So how long have you owned your own business?
Well, this is my second time starting a business. The first time was back in this was January of 2015, where I started a business with the backing of a global corporation, a publicly traded company, and learned a lot through that experience. But my recent one with Parity, actually, we started this back in March of 2020, as everything was getting shut down, and really I started coding. I was basically just exited my last opportunity in business and started thinking, what else can I work on? Do I want to get back into the business world? Do I want to go on interview with folks? So the idea has been sitting in my mind of Parity RFP for quite some time. So I decided, you know what, I'm going to go ahead and brush up on my coding skills and start getting to work. So March 2020 is when we started coding it. I did have another opportunity that popped up in between then. So I would code at nights and evenings after a couple months. And then as of December of 2020, I decided, I'm going to go ahead and go all in on this opportunity, and, exited the last job. And now I'm, doing this full time.
Great. Good for you. That's awesome, man. So tell me, who do you serve? Who's your best customer or your ideal customer? We call that a target audience.
Yeah, so my target audience is anyone that is a buyer of industrial equipment. So if you're in procurement, if you're in operations, if you're in management, if you're anybody that's looking for a piece of equipment, whether it's pallet racking, automated storage, or ASRS or mobile robotics, you're our type of buyer, or even machine tools, machining centers and things of that sort. So, and it's all across the United States. I haven't expanded past that, but that's really the target market. And then, that's the buyer side or client side. On the vendor side, we're looking for vendors that produce those types of products and distribute those here in the US.
Okay, fantastic. So you mentioned that you started basically during COVID. So what's been the greatest impact that COVID's had on your business?
Well, I think it was, so I had this, the idea of sitting for quite some time, but then with COVID, that was the spark that really ignited it inside me, because with COVID, I've realized that the business as usual is not going to be business as usual, especially in the sales world. And we're already seeing the impacts of that. And a lot of different industries, they're not hiring salespeople because they've realized they can do a lot of this stuff via phone calls, via Zoom, via technology, and you don't have to have a body go visit somebody to sell them something. Um, and that's really been the biggest impact for COVID. It was really, giving me that ignition to get going on that. Um, so yeah.
Fantastic. So what are, we've all had to pivot during the changes that COVID has brought. So what are one or two actions that you've taken to make a difference in your business, and how are those things working for you?
I would say the biggest actions. Hmm. I had a good answer for you. Um, I can't really say that there are a lot of or any major actions that I've taken because of COVID. I think just as part of starting the business, I've realized that this was a great idea, and COVID just reinforced that I need to continue pursuing this. But as far as skills, I would say the one skill is that I've learned to, perform Zoom calls and interviews by Zoom and by phone. Um, and get away from being in person and interacting with people to help sell myself or to sell an idea or to just communicate thoughts. So that's probably been the biggest impact. Then I went and bought a microphone and a nice little webcam set up here.
Yeah, there. Awesome. So, Tim, here's an interesting question. It's been said that smart people learn from their mistakes and wise people learn from the mistakes of others. So, what mistakes have you made along the way that you'd be willing to share to help other entrepreneurials learn from your experience?
Well, actually, I wouldn't consider them mistakes. For me, they're like little building blocks, and I've seen this, the image somewhere where it's, as a business, every mistake is a little building block, and you keep building upon these little mistakes, and it just reinforces, your thought processes and how you move forward. Um, some key mistakes is really more related to who you trust, who you don't trust. I think that I'm a very optimistic person, but you do have to be aware that some people are just trying to sell you something. So for me, that's really the biggest learning through my career was, figuring out who are real mentors, who should you really align with to do business, um, and to look past the business side of things. And if they're doing things outside of business that maybe you don't agree with, you might want to keep that in mind. If they're uh, doing things to other people with how they act or how they behave or even what they say. Um, don't think that they won't do it to you. So that's something that I've learned, and it's taken some time. That in the business world, it gets pretty pretty aggressive. So you have to be prepared for that.
Fantastic. Thank you for sharing that. So, second last question here, Tim. I've got or I'll have your contact information to make sure that we include that when we post this video. Is there anything else that we should include? Any types of offers that you have or ways for people to learn more about how you might be able to help them?
Yeah, so you can go check out ParityRFP.com. That's the site. It's free for anyone that's a client on the buyer side. It's absolutely free. No gimmicks, no sign up here, no freemium. It's really a free tool for the buyers because that's where I believe that I would like to add value. And then for vendors, if vendors sign up, we'll do free for 1 year. That way they can hop on the system, test it out, and start getting some RFPs.
Right. Fantastic. That's a very generous offer. Thank you. So, last question here, Tim. What has been most inspiring to you during all of the craziness from the past year?
You know, one of my favorite quotes is from the movie Meet the Robinsons, and it's just keep moving forward.
Mm.
With everything that's been going on, I think a lot of people want to get stuck in the mud of what's happened in the past or what's happening right this minute. But really, you just have to keep moving forward. Always look to the next thing. Don't just get bogged down. So for me, that's been something that I've held on to for quite some time was the mantra of just keep moving forward. No matter what's going on, you're still alive. You just keep moving forward.
Fantastic. Well, It's definitely been a year of needing to keep moving forward, hasn't it?
Yeah, yeah, it certainly has.
Well, Tim, that concludes our interview. For those listening, if you've heard something that from Tim that's intriguing to you, please take advantage of his free offer to get involved with his app. Sounds like a tremendous value add in terms of free on both sides, free for if you're a vendor for a year, free if you are a buyer forever. So please reach out to Tim, find out more about his app and how he can help you improve your selling and buying process. If you've heard something during this interview that maybe you're struggling with in your business and need some help pivoting, please reach out to me. Be happy to jump on a free call and talk through that challenge with you. Tim, it's been a pleasure learning about you and your business, and I wish you tremendous success.
All right. Thank you, Tim. I appreciate it. Have a great day.
Yep, you too. Bye now.